All your days are belonging to us.
I used to be an adventurer like you.
Excuse us, Mr. Logan.
Mother of God.
Hey guys, Kingopersia back, and this is my video on my thoughts on the idea that Steam is now on Linux, and also the fact that Crytek is going to be focusing on free-to-play games. So, as you probably heard, Steam is now on Linux as of February, mid-February, and that's pretty cool. I think it's really cool, and these are my thoughts on what it shows, kind of what it implies in the gaming industry right now, and really just the console industry in general as well. I've got a list right here. First off, it opens up a lot of gamers to games that only have Linux in their house or wherever their computer is that they're going to use on games. I mean, if you have a computer that only has Linux on it, for some reason you don't want Windows or Mac OS X, you've got Steam on Linux now, and that's great. This is kind of a controversial reason, but Valve is kind of making up for the absence of any continuation in Half-Life. Overall, I think it's really giving a lot of modders and indie developers like a lot of power and a lot of presence in the gaming industry, because a lot of people are mad at big game developers like AAA developers like EA or even Valve just a little bit, or Microsoft, because like an oversaturation in the market, like first-person shooters or genres like that. They focus on making like a lot of explosions and death and mayhem and gore, rather than focusing on like mechanics and substance that older games had, like Legend of Zelda and stuff like that. One thing that a lot of developers are doing is going back to their roots, as they like to say, and doing reboots and stuff. So tons of reboots are happening, like Mortal Kombat. They're going to do a reboot of Resident Evil, I heard. Like Resident Evil 6 it didn't do so well. I haven't played it yet, but I'm going to. For the story and all that, I love Resident Evil, but still a lot of people are doing reboots. They're going back to what they did before, what made the games good. I mean, they're just, it's just getting old with a lot of games these days. They're coming out from big developers. They're not what they used to be. A big reason is that possibly no more used games. GameStop sells used games, and this is a lot of developers are losing profit, because all the profit, I said in my video a while ago about downloadable content games with the patent that Sony released, a lot of people and a lot of big developers are losing profit from used games being sold, and they don't like this, so they're going to block used games somehow. There's a patent for that Sony has on technology that blocks used games. They don't know what we don't know what they're going to do with it yet. We don't even know if they're going to use it. But you don't have that problem with PC games, which is Steam. Steam is PC games, and you don't have that problem with PC games. I'm actually going to get into the upsides of PC games in a minute. Downloadable content, a lot of developers are releasing these too. Personally, I don't really have a problem with it. I mean, it's a good way to make money. If it's helping them, that's good. If it's not helping us, as in the gamers, I mean, that's bad, but it's not helping me. I don't really buy downloadable content that much, because I like, if it's story based, if it focuses on the main story of the game, then I'll buy it. But really, the only downloadable content I can think that did this was Mass Effect 2, The Arrival. That was it. When I played Rock Band, I did buy the downloadable content for that, because that's more songs. Another thing is just generally just high prices for games. $60, man. When was the last time you played a game that was worth $60? A console game, by the way. Not really one for me. Now PC games are on the rise. That's what putting Steam on Linux, and Crytek focusing on free to play. Those are the general examples I'm using for the reasons right now. Steam on Linux and Crytek focusing on free to play, because Crytek is a big AAA game developer like Crysis and Far Cry, and they're going to focus on free to play games. Right now, free to play games are mostly on PC right now, and this helps PC because it shows that PC games are really on the rise. Like more flexibility in graphics and features. And usually, not all the time, but usually lower prices for games. Most games, most of the time, the highest price I see for PC games is $50. Some of them are $60 if they're like really big, highly anticipated games like Borderlands 2, or I think Assassin's Creed 3 might have been $60. Black Ops was. Then But yeah, usually lower prices and lots of great games that aren't even AAA games that are like 20 or 30 bucks. Better control in terms of more precise movements with the mouse rather than the analog stick, because you can't always. Yes, there's sensitivity on the analog stick, but it's just not as easy. I mean, PCs really own the MMORPG market right now, and MMORPGs are flooding the market. They're supposedly a cash cow. I have yet to see anybody really call them I really have yet to see an example of that, except for World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft still owns the market, and everybody's trying to compete with them, and it's not working out that well. PCs allow modding. Modding is great. Modding is really on the rise. This is another example that shows that indie developers are getting a lot of power and a bigger presence in the gaming industry. Emulators, man. N64 emulators. I played Star Fox 64 a couple months ago on my computer, and it was awesome. Convenience of downloading. You know, you can just buy a game on Steam, download it, you don't have to go to the store at all. It saves money. Console games are programmed on PCs, so consoles are really the children of PCs. Another thing, Steam now has something called Steam Greenlight, which is where people submit their games. Anybody in the world can submit a game on the Steam, and if Valve deems it worthy, I don't really know the process or what it's called or how they deem them worthy, but if it's good enough, they'll put it on Steam. It's called Steam Greenlight, and this really shows also Kickstarter as well, which is a community-based funding vehicle. I think it's a website too. I haven't done much research on it. I don't do anything with donations with Kickstarter, but it really shows that just the community, people at the bottom, not really developers or anything, are really becoming more important and more involved. You know, lots of games are free to play or indie developed, or even mods that are great games like DayZ or Defense of the Ancients or something like that. You know, lots of mods have been for StarCraft, and they're great. Really, that's it. That's all I can think of for great things that Steam on Linux shows, and you know, Crytek is focusing on free to play. Free to play is really coming into its own. It's a great thing. I've played free to play games. Right, I'm playing Path of the Exile right now. Path of Exile. I still have to get that right. Great game. I love it. Great graphics, especially for a free to play game. And I actually saw motion blur. Like I've said in my videos, I'm such a sucker for motion blur. If a game has motion blur, I'm probably gonna play it. And Ghost Recon Online has motion blur in it. That's a free-to-play game. It's in beta too, and that's great, man. It's really a great sign that free-to-play games are really taking off. I think it's great. Whoever thought of the free-to-play model? So that's it. Thank you for watching. If you want to be friends with me on Steam, my Steam name is the same as my YouTube name. In case you're wondering, I play on a Windows computer. And don't forget to like this video, like my Facebook, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.